Welcome to Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Cultivating our body's resilience and inner silence and its application to all aspects of your life. Let's become enlightened and enjoy the power of intuitiveness and creativity. You are listening to Society Bites Radio, social interaction for the mind and soul. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. I am your host, Colette Darville, and this is Yin Yoga Lifestyle. So now let us take a deep meditative breath. Inhale, so, and exhale, hum. Dr. Laura Stuve is a PhD molecular biologist and a senior instructor of Body Talk, Mind-Body Medicine. Dr. Stuve got her PhD at UCSF in biochemistry and then did a postdoctoral fellowship at Stanford working on the Human Genoa Project. She was a senior director of research and development at two California biotech companies working on identifying genes involved in chronic disease. Dr. Stuve spent 26 years in basic research in human molecular genetics in academia and the biotechnical industry before shifting her focus full-time to teaching, practicing, and researching mind-body medicine 13 years ago. Dr. Stuve was the principal investigator on the first formal clinical research study for Body Talk, working with Dr. Janet Galipo. This study focused on evaluating the impact of Body Talk treatments on individuals with chronic pain conditions, demonstrated significant improvements in pain intensity and associated emotional symptoms. Dr. Janet Galipo received a BA in anthropology and a master's degree in counseling education from Boston University. As an acupuncture physician, her advanced acupuncture studies include training with Kiko Matsumoto and Richard Tan. Her clinical skills include acupuncture, homeopathy, Chinese and Western herbal medicine, nutritional counseling, and a wide range of other holistic therapies. She has since transitioned her practice to become more focused on Body Talk intuitive medicine, since it is the most innovative and paradigm-shifting modality in her clinical experience. Dr. Galipo is now an internationally renowned advanced senior international instructor in the system and runs a Body Talk and acupuncture holistic clinic in Miami called To Be Healthy Inc. And it is actually the number 2. Dr. Stuve and Dr. Galipo together teach body intuitive training that is designed to help integrative healthcare professionals and their patients uncover and access the missing pieces of the puzzle in health and healing. Thank you for enduring my little sort of faux pause there on a couple of words. But welcome to Yin Yoga Lifestyle, Dr. Laura and Dr. Janet.
Oh, thank you so much, Colette.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Colette.
How did you both meet and what sparked the creation of Body Intuitive? Now, I know that you can both talk at the same time, but perhaps we should ask Dr. Galipo, Dr. Janet, how did you both meet?
Right. So Laura and I met through the Body Talk system, and both of us were working, as you just mentioned, Colette, in other disciplines, and then were attracted to the system for various reasons, including the idea that you could actually communicate with the body intuitively and affect change in that way. So that was really the beginning of our professional association. And then over the years, we've done a number of different projects together, including, as you mentioned, the first evidence-based Body Talk research study, which was done several years ago and had spectacular results with using Body Talk in the treatment of chronic pain.
So, and what do epigenetics and quantum physics and traditional Chinese medicine have in common here? And I mean, you could both take it in turns to talk here, but Dr. Galipo, would you like to start with that?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at these three disciplines, I mean, with epigenetics, what you eat, where you live, who you live with, when you decide to go to sleep at night, how you exercise, and even the aging process, all of these they cause chemical modifications around genes and will turn genes on and off in the body over time. Of
Mm,
course, this is something that we're not aware of. I think if you look at quantum physics, again, quantum physics is looking at the smallest particles of energy. They're looking at atoms and subatomic particles and the behavior of these particles that not only make up the universe, but also make up the human body. And then with Chinese medicine, we're always talking about qi, but what is it? Like these other disciplines, qi is invisible. We know that it's the vital energy of the body, but we really don't know how it works. So I think that with all of these disciplines, we're looking at an unseen world that is hugely influenced by what we do, and that also kind of dictates our sense of health and well-being.
and yes, we are, and we're in desperate need of that in these days, really, the understanding of our own health. Um, Dr. Laura, what is the connection between our microbiome and our immune system and our belief system?
So, this is a very fascinating connection, and one of the things that I'm pretty passionate about working with in my clinic and teaching other practitioners to work with. So, the microbiome is an ecosystem of beneficial bacteria, fungi, and other types of microbes in different areas. We all know about the gut microbiome, but we have one in the lungs, we have one on the skin, surface of our eyes. And so part of the microbiome is actually to support our immune defenses. It helps us fight off infections or pathogens, stomach bugs, viruses, etc. And its very important role is it keeps the immune system in check. So it keeps the immune system from going into an overreactive, inflammatory, allergic, and autoimmune pattern. So we can tell because of the high rates of inflammation and allergies and autoimmune disease today that this checks and balance system has been broken. And it's like modern lifestyle factors like antibiotics and our diet and our stresses have all brought the microbiome into turmoil. And so by balancing both the microbiome and working with what's going on in the immune system, we can really very quickly impact powerful health changes here. So.
And what I find really fascinating is that you're combining the Eastern and the Western medicine, which is sorely needed these days, and the US statistics show that 75% to 90% of all doctors' office visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. And I think you both could answer this alternatively. Maybe we could start with you, Dr. Janet. What has to change here?
Well, there's a simple answer here, and there's also a more complex answer. I'm going to take the simple part and leave the more complex part to Dr. Laura. But basically, yes, everybody, particularly in the Western world, is walking around in a super stressed state, or what we call the sympathetic nervous system state, sort of sympathetic nervous system overload. And so in that state, the body feels that it's under threat, like something terrible is going to happen and we have to run for our lives. And so having to live under this kind of stress due to, all of our different circumstances, including, commuting, work stress, family stress, electromagnetic frequencies, and how, their effects on the body, and all of the different kind of stresses that we incur with life in the fast lane, life in the modern world, takes a tremendous toll on the body and then is contributing to a lot of chronic illness. So the short answer is we have to get the body out of stress mode into parasympathetic mode. We've got to get it into relaxation mode because that's the only way that the body can heal and repair itself. Now, that's my short answer, and then Dr. Laura might speak about the fact that that's an oversimplification because there actually are a couple different kinds of stress.
Yeah, so to carry on from what Janet just said, first of all, one of the things that we teach in our courses, we have 7 reset techniques to calm this over amped up nervous system that scrambles the hormones and that amps up inflammation. So we teach practitioners and people how to daily reset themselves. But as Janet intimated, people need to be educated that we have 3 stress modes that scientists know about today. And really only one of them, the one everybody knows about, the fight or flight threat mode, is deleterious to our health. And so our mindset on stress can actually help us shift into one of the more productive modes. And so we really need to understand how to shift ourselves out of this state of threat and how to use the power of our minds to do that.
So can you talk about some of the techniques that perhaps somebody can implement on a daily basis to begin to understand and become more aware of this balancing the nervous system and aware of their own healing? Are there some things that we can do on a daily basis?
Yeah, well, Laura mentioned the 7 resets. I'm going to just briefly describe the 3 that have a basis in Chinese medicine, and maybe she can talk about the Western medicine ones. One of the features of our course, Body Intuitive, is the idea that we have this communication triad, which is a relationship between the nervous system and the brain, the body's endocrine system, and the immune system, and that all of these are very interrelated. They really aren't separate systems, but they're together. But in looking at the communication triad, we have 3 Chinese medicine-based reset points that we call the acupoint reset techniques. And these are very, very effective in being able to reset the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system, almost instantaneously. And we use these points, these reset points. We can just tap them or we can touch them. I mean, that's really the beauty of the course, is that, you don't have to put needles in them. And, I think that, I always tease my students and I say, I think there are a lot of frustrated Chinese medicine doctors out there who wish they had gone to acupuncture school, but they didn't want to do, the 4-year, $75,000 program.
Right.
And yet they really know the beauty and the efficacy of Chinese medicine. And so we've tried to really distill, the wisdom of working with Chinese medicine and the acupoints and be able to apply them in a very, user-friendly way, including being able to reset these 3 systems.
And Dr. Laura, can you talk about some techniques that someone can do to implement on a daily basis?
Yeah, so I'm going to just share one, which we call the anti-inflammatory reset. So this is based on really understanding these different modes of stress, and it encourages this mindset shift out of this threat state, which immediately calms down inflammation. And it also works with our understanding of how the vagal nerve, the main parasympathetic nerve, activates the off switch and the on switch for inflammation in the body. But it's a very simple technique, just takes a minute to perform on yourself with the, really exaggerated deep breathing, same sort of breathing that you would do in a meditation or yoga practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the pranayama breathing really is good for us, isn't it?
It
most
definitely
definitely is.
Yes.
So coming together, the 2 of you coming together and creating this wonderful body intuitive system, how do you both see the future of the physician? Because we need a change. We need a change desperately. How do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're headed into the